Nigeria's 2023 general elections is at the corner. As a democratic country, once in every 4 years, persons who are 18 years and above and have registered with the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) go to polls to cast their votes. But for political parties to arrive at a choice of candidate or flag bearer, party primaries has to be conducted for one aspirant to emerge among many. Section 87, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2010 states that, quote, "A political party seeking to nominate candidates for elections under this Act shall hold primaries for aspirants to all elective positions," end of quote. Dr. Jide Johnson, a political commentator, defines a primary election.
There are 3 types of way in which you could select candidates for election. 2 actually, but under those 2, the primaries is divided into 2, direct and indirect primary, and then there's consensus arrangement. Direct primary is when all registered members, card-carrying members of the party, go out at a designated date and a designated place to elect the flag bearer of the party. While indirect primaries, where you have delegates of the party electing the flag bearer of their party. Or we could have what is called a consensus arrangement, whereby the party says, okay, we are not going to do any election. We are going to agree amongst ourselves, where the stakeholders agree that, you know what, we don't want rancor, we don't want anything. We are just going to pick a particular candidate to represent our party at whatever level. So those are the 3 options that are available for parties to pick the party leaders and also to pick their flag bearers for various elections that will be contested at the local, state, and federal level.
Electoral Act 2010, Section 87, subsection 2 says, quote, "The procedure for the nomination of candidates by political parties for the various elective positions shall be by direct or indirect primaries," end of quote. The upper chamber of the National Assembly, the Senate, has passed the Electoral Reform Bill 2021, which reflects that, quote, "A political party seeking to nominate candidates for elections under this bill shall hold direct primaries for aspirants to all elective positions, which shall be monitored by the Commission," end of quote. Direct or indirect primaries, which is better?
The important thing is that the best form of picking candidates actually is for you to go to the direct mode. The direct mode in the sense that every card-carrying member of the party has a say in who becomes the representative of the people, who becomes the flag bearer of the party. Not a situation whereby you have delegates. Say, for example, you want to do an election in the ward. The ward is the smallest political unit you can talk, because the ward you pick a councillor for. But from electoral point of view, the unit is the smallest. But from political point of view, public officer is the ward. That's where you have a councillor. Now, let's take for a ward. How do you pick the councillor for a ward? Using indirect primary. Why should you pick the local government chairman using indirect primary delegates? Why should we pick the House of Rep and House of Assembly members using the indirect primary, or the gubernatorial candidate using indirect primary? But when it comes to national elections, let's say senatorial elections, which you have groups of local government. For example, in Lagos West, there are 10 local governments in senatorial election for Lagos West. And the presidential primaries, for example, those ones should go to delegate election rather than going through direct primaries like you are conducting a national election, like INEC will do. Do our parties have the capacity and the resources to do that? Those are basic questions. But for me, I think that there should be a mix of both direct and indirect primaries. You shouldn't be picking the governor of a state using indirect primaries. Let the people actually participate in the process. State elections, anyone seeking state offices should go through the direct primary. Why national elections for me? I think should be through indirect primaries. For example, we want to do presidential election in Nigeria for the party to pick a candidate. And we're saying that, the whole of Nigerians should go out, card-carrying member of APC should go out and conduct the primaries. Do they have the resources?
If President Muhammadu Buhari assents to the bill, then political primaries by law will be required to select its flag bearers in all elective positions by using direct primaries method. A question that comes to mind is how many people in Nigeria's over 200 million populace belong to a political party. A sampled population tells us the reality on ground.
It is left for the political parties to decide the kind of mode they would use, but for me, I would prefer the direct primaries.
I belong to a political party.
I don't belong to a political party. I'm a neutral person entirely. I don't belong to any political party because they have failed the whole nation.
Dr. Johnson posits that it is not the prerogative of the legislature to determine the mode of primary elections, saying it is an infringement on the independence and rights of political parties to decide how their flag bearers are selected.
They are playing to the gallery. They don't have the power. They don't have it. They don't have it. The Constitution gives INEC the power to register political parties. The political parties are guided by their Constitution, not by. It is not for the National Assembly to legislate on how parties should conduct their affair. It is for the parties to agree amongst themselves as to what ideology, to what principle, process, and procedure that will guide them.
While Nigerians wait to know where the pendulum will swing, which is still the president decline or assent to the bill for direct primaries, it is important to note that direct primaries enhance political inclusion, reflect party democracy, and ensure that aspirants' elective posts are not imposed on the people, which is absolutely necessary to conducting a free, fair, and credible elections. For Impact Television, I'm Grace Paul Adebayo.